Russian President Vladimir Putin says his country is determined to protect its interests, and he blames Washington for Russia's economic woes and Western sanctions imposed after the crisis in Ukraine. CCTV's Tom Barton reports, as NATO looks to bolster its eastern defenses, Russia is ramping up its military operations.
Another intercept of Russian warplanes near European airspace by NATO jets. Russian air activity has more than doubled over the past year, which the alliance says harkens back to the Cold War and has threatened the safety of civilian flights multiple times. Russia says it will expand its military flights all the way to the US coast and the Gulf of Mexico, and says it will retaliate against what it calls NATO expansion.
A possible further expansion of NATO to the east will inevitably lead to a serious military and political tilt not only in Europe but in the whole world, directly impact Russia's national security interests, and will force our country to take necessary measures.
In December, Ukraine's parliament renounced the country's non-aligned status, saying that Russia's aggression showed that that stance had not guaranteed its security. Russia says it will sever all ties with NATO if Ukraine becomes a member. NATO suspended all civilian and military cooperation with Russia in April 2014 after Russia's actions in Ukraine. A majority of Ukrainians now support joining NATO.
We are not defending only Ukraine. We are not defending only our sovereignty. We are not defending only our territorial integrity. Today, on our eastern border, we are defending European security and European freedom.
President Putin has signed a doctrine naming NATO as Russia's #1 military threat, and a Russian general has called for the country to have a preemptive nuclear strike doctrine against the alliance. Despite the warning of finance ministers, President Putin has ordered a $500 billion military spending increase to 2020, with more such programs announced to start in coming years. Tom Barton, CCTV, Moscow.